In this video, we are going to explore HTML5 data attributes. These attributes provide a way to store custom data directly within HTML elements. Let's see how data attributes can be used to enhance the functionality and interactivity of your web pages. So, what exactly are HTML5 data attributes? Data attributes allow you to store extra information on standard HTML elements without using non-standard attributes, extra properties, or document object model node creation. Basically, it helps to attach custom data to HTML elements in a simple and valid way. The basic syntax is shown on the screen. It starts with data dash, followed by the name you choose for the attribute, and then the value. For example, you can create an attribute called data-user-id with a value of 123, and another called data-user-name with a value of John. These attributes can then be used to store specific information related to the user profile. When naming data attributes, there are a few rules to keep in mind. First, they must start with the data prefix. Second, they must contain at least one character after the prefix. Third, they should be all lowercase. Fourth, you can include hyphens for multi-word names. Finally, no spaces or special characters are allowed, except for hyphens. Here are a few examples. Data-user-id and data-price are correct examples. On the other hand, data-id, data equals value, and data-user_name are incorrect. Now let's see how we can access data attributes using JavaScript. There are two main methods. The first is using the dataset property. You can access data attributes through the dataset property of an element. For example, if you have an element with the ID user and data attributes like data-user-id and data-user-name, you can access these values using user.dataset, user ID, and user.dataset.username. The second method is using the getAttribute method. You can also use the getAttribute method to access data attributes. For example, to get the price and category of a product, you can use product.getAttribute data-price and product.getAttribute data-category. It is important to remember that the dataset property automatically converts kebab case attribute names like data-user-name to camel case property names like username. In addition to accessing data attributes, you can also modify them using JavaScript. Again, you can use either the dataset property or the setAttribute method. Using the dataset property, you can directly update the value of a data attribute. You can also add new data attributes using the same method. Using the setAttribute method, you can achieve the same result. For example, you can update the price of a product by calling product.setAttribute data-price, followed by the new value. And to add a new attribute, you can call product.setAttribute data-on-sale, followed by the value true. When using the dataset, remember that kebab case attributes like data-last-active become camel case properties like last active. Data attributes can also be used to style elements using CSS selectors. By using attribute selectors, you can target elements based on their data attributes and apply specific styles. For example, you can style elements with the attribute data-status equals active differently from those with data-status equals inactive. You can also combine data attributes with other selectors to create more specific styles. For instance, you can style elements with the class card and the attribute data-theme equals dark differently. Data attributes provide a clean way to select and style elements based on their state or properties. Let's explore some practical use cases for data attributes. One common use case is to toggle functionality. You can use data attributes to control the toggle state of an element. For example, you can have a button with the attribute data-theme equals light, and toggle the theme by updating the attribute value. Another use case is dynamic content loading. You can load content based on data attributes. For example, you can have a product card with the attributes data-product-id and data-category, and load the product details based on these attributes. To wrap things up, here are some best practices to keep in mind when using HTML5 data attributes. Use them for non-visual data that needs to be accessed by JavaScript. Keep attribute names descriptive and consistent. Use kebab case for multi-word attribute names. Store simple data values like strings, numbers, or booleans. And use them for configuration data and state information. On the other hand, avoid storing large amounts of data and attributes. Don't use them for sensitive information like passwords or tokens. Avoid storing complex data structures, and don't rely on data attributes for critical application functionality. HTML5 data attributes provide a clean, standards-compliant way to store custom data directly in HTML elements. They are perfect for enhancing elements with additional information that can be easily accessed and manipulated with JavaScript and CSS. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.